Give me your picks. Give me your insights. I want the bets from Betting Weekly. Because we win. That is our motto. Sometimes we win. Sometimes we don't win.
All right, here we go. Betting Weekly Live. Here with you on a Tuesday. Mike Carver along with Doug Kezirian as we get ready for all of tonight's action. We have the final of the NBA Cup in Vegas with the Knicks and the Spurs. We have got a lot of hockey tonight. There's a bunch of really good college basketball. Yes, there is even a bowl game down in Montgomery, Alabama tonight that we will get to as well. We'll start to look ahead to NFL week number 16. Very, very busy. Doug, good to see you as always. How are you?
We got a banner up for grabs tonight because year one of the Cup, the Lakers ended up hoisting a banner. That's something LeBron has won that Jordan hasn't. Just saying.
Now, this has been, and I was going to bring this up when we get to the game, and we're going to be starting there anyway. This has been a major point of discussion today, Doug, and yesterday in the New York area, the New York sports talk area. I have a lot of friends that work at, the big station WFAN here in New York and all over. And this has been a huge thing. Should the Knicks raise a banner if they win tonight? Should they not raise a banner?
Drought is over. The drought is over, Carver.
It has been highly talked about here ahead of this game tonight in Vegas between the Spurs and the Knicks. And I will get there. I just want to say once again, great job by you over in the first half last night in that Dallas-Utah game. Of course, that was a tremendous job there. But sailed over. Doug, they went over in the first quarter almost. They scored so many points in the first half.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it. I think we're like 6-1 or something in a best bet run here. So I got some tweets last night, guys thanking me for the first half under in the NFL.
Right.
Laughing that there was almost no touchdown. And I was like, we're bearing the lead here. Best bet won with ease. Let's not sleep on that.
Best bet won with ease. And unfortunately for me, that was not the game script that I needed for Achan to run because they didn't run the football the entire second half because they were getting smashed. And they just could not do anything. But I had a pretty good night elsewhere. Hockey was good. Anaheim was good. We had another dog win last night, too. Oh, and the Panthers down in Tampa against the Lightning. So we had something. The Raptors in Miami against the Heat. I had some good stuff last night, aside from the best bet. We'll get that tonight.
I think we nailed the NBA. Well done with the Raptors. I was seeing that. I'd say this, and you can touch on it later. Just, I think it'd be helpful for our audience to learn kind of what goes through your head when you have this sort of like zig and zag thing with your best bets, but you're seeing the ball well overall. Right. Like, what do you do? Do you pick a sport? Like, how do you kind of simplify things and kind of get out of it? Because I don't even want to say you're in a rut because you're like ripping off a bunch of wins. Right. It's just kind of funny, like the best bet kind of nonsense, like the name of it all. Right.
The name of it all and what you pick at the end. I did feel really good about Achan yesterday. I was pretty even when we talked about the game. I was like, oh no, Dolphins have turned into a hard hat team. They're going to run the football tonight. It's going to get going, and that did not happen. They just. He was averaging 6 yards a carry in the first half. They just couldn't run the ball in the second half because they started getting hammered. The Amish electrician in already. We're rabid fans. Look at that. The Amish electrician. Let's get it going now, Doug, for tonight here on Betting Weekly Live. And that is, of course, with that NBA Cup title game in Vegas at the T-Mobile between the Knicks and the Spurs. Right now at Bet Rivers, -2.5. for the Knicks, and the total is now 233.5 as we sit here a few hours before tip.
Couple things. Obviously, we've touched on the trend of the NBA Cup. It's a brief history, but the narrative makes sense. Kind of neutral court, unfamiliar rims, defense matters, things like that. And unders have been the way to go. So now in the semis, the first game flew over, Knicks and Magic, but game 2 did land under. And quarterfinals, but over the last few years, all the Vegas games have gone under except for like one. So something to keep in mind. It's hard not to bet the under, but the big question mark that needs answering is Wemby. He's expected to go 20, 25 minutes again. I don't know if he's going to start. I was watching SportsCenter, did get that latest report. It's really hard to handicap this game because, he had 21 points in 21 minutes or something like that. His plus minus was plus 21 in a game they won by 2. So that tells you everything you need to know. And it kind of disrupts things when the Spurs play such a different game, both offensively and defensively, when he's on the court. And there's an adjustment period, one would think. They played their tails off in that game. I just wonder if what's left in the gas tank. I think Knicks are the only way to play this. I really, really think it's Knicks or pass here, and the under or pass.
Yeah, I think it's the Knicks too. So how do the Knicks lose the NBA Cup? Is Wemby expected a full workload? I will bring this up to you with Wemby because, as you mentioned, they tell you one thing, that there's this minutes restriction and that he's only going to play 20 to whatever minutes it is. But there is something on the line tonight, Doug. This is not a normal regular season game in the middle of December. They have added this attachment to this game. And if this game is close in the second half and the game is on the line and all of those things, they're going to, I think they're leave him out there and let him. And if it's 27 minutes, 29 minutes, 30 minutes, I think if it means winning the game, I think they're going to leave him on the floor.
It doesn't really matter, this game. So they're not going to disrupt anything. They don't care. The only reason the Lakers raised a banner is because the league made them to try to legitimize this stupid tournament in season. There's no way the Lakers, who, when you combine with Minneapolis, all those titles, they're going to trivialize those actual championships with this NBA Cup title. Yes, they'll cash the checks, but they don't care about this title. So the Spurs aren't going to jeopardize anything with this. Heck, even in the WNBA, the Fever didn't force Caitlin Clark, and there's a lot of money for those players in terms of what they normally make, and they still didn't mess around, and they actually won it without her. I think it's Knicks or pass. I think they're just playing better. I think they get easier points here. Spurs are good, though, really good. So it's a tough read, but I think Knicks.
I think I'm just going to go with the under.
Yeah,
I'm not particularly a Knicks fan, even though I'm here in the New York area. I've never rooted for the Knicks my entire life. I was kind of more of a net guy growing up. And then I just became kind of like a betting only with the NBA, Doug. I didn't really have that kind of attachment to any team, but I would like to see everybody's head explode around here if they put a banner up at the Garden for winning the NBA Cup. So I think for that reason and that reason alone, I'll root for the Knicks, but I'm betting the under. I think that's kind of
like news outlets would lead with that story. Like Fox News would do like 30 minutes on it, like how embarrassing of it. And I will remind people, I said this on sports radio once and everyone looked at me funny. And then they thought, New York is a basketball town.
Yes.
Yes, the Yankees have dominated. Yes, they've been the dynasties. But there's a reason like no New York people are in, like New York natives are in the big leagues. It is a blacktop town. When the Knicks are good, there's a buzz like no other. I mean, they had a basically parade last year for reaching the conference finals. It is a New York town. And when they win that title for the first time since the 70s, that place will go bananas compared to when they win the World Series.
There is no team in this town that unites the fan base more than the New York Knicks, because the Jet and the Giant fans will always be, but you can't get them to go to one bandwagon or the other. The Mets and the Yankees know. Even hockey, there's 3 hockey teams: Rangers, Islanders, Devils. No one would ever root for the other. No one in this town cares about the Nets. Everyone is a Knick fan in New York for the most part. So, and there is a physical cup, Steve. They can hang that from the rafters. There is an actual trophy that they give them. Just went to 3 as we talked about it. So from 2.5 to 3. The Knicks right now, as we were speaking, leaning Vassell over 13.5 points and maybe under full game. That'll kind of get me into any player stuff, Doug. How about Vassell over 13.5?
So something to keep in mind with these player props is the unders, right? So you have more measured possessions, tighter team. And when teams are on the road, like they've both been away from home, it's just not that easy, It's draining on the body to not be in your normal routine and rhythm. So like I know people like Brunson over 29.5. Like, I mean, look, if we think the under, then he could have fewer points. Go look at the box scores. Last year was one-sided, but other championship games, like I agree that like a guy like Vassell or someone like that, Vassel's going to go over more than some of these other guys. But I'll tell you what, De'Aaron Fox makes it look easy out there. But Wemby's interesting. Like, how much is he going to play? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a really tricky handicap. It really is. I mean, you literally have the best player in the game. We don't know his minutes count. The other team's favored. Like, history of the under. Like, it's just kind of a lot of moving parts here.
A lot of moving parts. One other player thing for you, and that is the special tonight at Bet Rivers. And I like they keep going back to this because it won last time. The Brunson burner. I remember we used Brunson burner last time and it got home. Brunson to score at least 11 points in the first quarter of Knicks Spurs, boosted from plus 110 to plus 140. First quarter to have 11 plus.
I mean, the thing I like about Brunson is not like starting the game, oh, I got to get my teammates in. It's just like he goes with the flow of the offense. If the shot's there, he takes it. He's not forcing, either shots or passes. So that's what I like. It's, there's an authenticity to his game in that regard. I can get behind this for sure. Like, he can go off in the first quarter. Why not?
He absolutely can. So there you go. At Bet Rivers tonight, make sure you get in on the special 11 plus, boosted up to plus 140. And also, don't forget, because it is Tuesday, NBA midweek live profit boost as well. So players get on their Bet Rivers app and receive an NBA live profit boost each login on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. See the Bet Rivers app or the website for full details. NBA midweek live profit boost. There you go. We've got a few more in here. Knicks Brunson over and Towns double-double there from Chronic Plutonic. Knicks Brunson over and Towns double-double. Listen, Brunson and Towns are the guys who are going to, they're going to lead the charge if the Knicks are going to get this
handle. Chronic Plutonic.
Chronic Plutonic getting involved with us there this evening. So Knicks and Spurs.
Or is it Chronic Pluto Nick?
That's possible too.
Just throw it out there.
We're taking it. You got to remember, we read them fast as they come across the screen. We got to take them however they come as they get rolling at us here, and that's why we love the chat box on
ESPN. We did a the Daily Wager group had a March Madness pool, enter, win, tournament challenge, whatever it is. And we were going to interview the winner of the men's bracket and the women's bracket. And the men's bracket was handle was something not safe for TV. So we didn't bother with it. We just did the women's bracket winner.
Oh boy. You get that sometimes. It is the wild, wild west out there when it comes to the handle. So one game in the NBA this evening for you. Tomorrow night they don't even get, I was going to say a full schedule. They don't. There's only 2 games tomorrow night also. So light couple of days in the NBA. That is not the only hoops that we have this evening, because there is a very full slate of college basketball that we have tonight as well. I would have to say the best game on the card, probably Louisville and Tennessee, would be the first game that we have to go to. The game, of course, in Knoxville tonight. Tennessee minus 3.5, 156.5 is the total.
So Louisville's good. Okay. Yeah. They're really good. They're 9-1 for a reason. Really turned around the program. I like Tennessee here. 3 straight losses. I think it's a big bounce back spot. I was surprised. So they beat Houston, the revenge game, right? From their Elite 8 loss, I think it was, in the tournament.
Yep.
Then they lose to Kansas. Totally understandable. Then they lay an egg in Syracuse, and Illinois just outplayed them. So I think this is the game they get right here. I think defensively, I like the under probably. I have to believe in the Vols. It's just the right spot. But you got to be careful because this Louisville team's pretty darn good.
Very good. 9-1 start for Louisville as they're now ranked 11th in the country as they head into Knoxville tonight up on Rocky Top. We'll see. That should be a good one. That's just after 7 o'clock East. That is the ESPN TV game tonight. Elsewhere on TV, or Peacock at least, DePaul and St. John's as Big East play gets going for a bunch of the teams this week. This game, of course, now the Johnnies are playing this one at Carnesecca tonight. Obviously not at the Garden. 19 for the Johnnies and a 149 flat total.
Okay, this is where, my expertise, and I've done a good college basketball season. I can't name 5 guys in college basketball. So this is a spot play. This was like Mercer on Saturday. I had him first half rocking chair win. I think DePaul first half is the play here. They just beat Iona, which is Pitino's former team, by the way, covered by a hook, won by 27. Okay. On deck, they got the Wildcats of Kentucky. Yeah, another Pitino team. So sandwiched in between is little old DePaul, and DePaul's respectable, competent, all that stuff. I like DePaul in the first half. I think that's the way to play this. Now, the Johnnies 2 years ago were terrible in the first half. That's not the case this year, but I like fading the St. John's team. Look, I mean, they had the revenge against Iona, although there wasn't bad blood. I mean, he went to Iona, started the comeback of the coaching career, and then obviously graduated to St. John's. But DePaul's been a little frisky. They're punching up here. It is a conference game, but still, I think you got to take the 11 and a half here. I just think it's too many with Kentucky on deck. I just think that's a big one. Like you said, it's on campus. That concerns me a little bit, but it's 11 and a half points. All right. And a lot of this will be dictated by officiating, how much they let him press and everything like that. But for the most part, I think DePaul, I think you're just going to win this bet more often than you know.
And it's kind of, I made a small joke about DePaul the other day. And like you said to me, they're not the god-awful DePaul of back in the day.
I was going to say, are you familiar with DePaul the last few years?
Right. They're not as brutal as they were, say, when they first got in the Big East. They were just, they were going 0-20 in the league every year. I mean,
2 years ago, they were 3-29 overall.
Yeah.
0-20 in conference play.
They've got a few of those. Got a few of those.
Rome wasn't built in a day, my friend.
No, it was not. Let's stay in the Big East as well. For first Big East game for UConn tonight, as this one is in Hartford at the Mall against Butler. And Butler already opened Big East. They played Providence in a double overtime game over the weekend. 15 for UConn, 145.5. I just feel like this, Doug, could be a little bit too much. And I know that UConn is a lot better than Butler, but they're coming off playing all these big games. Texas, Florida, Kansas. I mean, they're just playing all these great teams all over the country. Feel like maybe they'll win the game, but could be a little sleepy with Butler in their first Big East game. And Butler's not awful. They've beaten Virginia already. They've beaten South Carolina. They've played. They're 8-2. They're not. They're an okay team. 15 seems like a lot. Maybe we can catch UConn a little sleepy tonight in Hartford.
So that was my initial outlook, and then I dug a little deeper. This Butler's not. They're like just good. They're just good enough to get UConn's attention. I think UConn could roll them. By the way, Butler's off a huge overtime win on Saturday.
Yep.
113-110. Okay.
Double overtime with Providence.
This could be this is Stores, right?
This is in Hartford. Yeah.
Okay, it's at the XL Center.
Yeah,
okay.
The XL.
It's right on corner of Trumbull Street, huh?
I'd feel more the smashed. I probably wouldn't feel the same way if it was in Stores, because Stores is where you get the good crowd. You don't get the better crowd in Hartford. Hartford, you don't get the
No, it's like the suits, it's a little bit of the suits and corporate crowd with some young, grads, UConn grads in their 20s. I lean Huskies.
Okay. Maybe first half Butler? Butler for a half?
I don't know, man. I think Butler's got a proud enough program where I think they're going to have the Cons' attention.
They'll have the attention for you. UConn will not just be.
I got to know Terrace Reed's playing, all that stuff,
Yeah, maybe at DePaul on Sundays where you'll get the sleepy UConn performance. At DePaul on Sunday is where you can catch UConn.
Texas A&M's not walking through that door. Texas A&M and 38.5 points isn't walking through that door.
They certainly are not. Before I give you some big spreads for some of the other ranked teams, this game caught my eye, and you always love when these games catch my eye as I'm looking through the card like I was this evening. 7-2 Marist. That's right, Marist, who, of course, playing here locally in the MAC. That is the other MAC, the MAAC MAC, the Metro Atlanta. The MAC. Not the MAC we know and love of Maction. The AA MAC is where Marist is. They are going to Georgia Tech tonight. this is only 7. I don't know, like Marist out of the MAC going to, and I know Georgia Tech's not Kentucky this year. They're 6-4, but like, and Marist is off to a decent start, 7-2. Something smells here, Doug. This was the line that kind of smelled to me today. Shouldn't Marist be getting a lot more at Georgia Tech?
I couldn't tell you much about him.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel right. Something's off to me. And the one game that they played, similar competition this year, they lost by 4 at Xavier. Marist. I'm taking Marist with the tutty tonight. Give me Marist with the 7 at Georgia Tech. I'm going to fall in. I'll roll into the bear trap here, Doug. I'll go into it. I'll take Marist, the Red Foxes.
I got one for you.
Okay.
That doesn't really feel right. The Abilene Christian only getting 33.5 at Arizona.
You know, that's
a little bit
very
of a flat spot for the Cats, but
like that should be 50, right? Or 40, like
40 something, 39. Abilene lost by 34 to William and Mary.
I was just gonna see who have they played. If they played anybody else on the Cat, I mean, man,
they've lost to Texas State and SF Austin. I mean, a lot of D2 wins in there.
So you think that I would have you would think at the minimum that number should be in the 40s. Arizona and Abilene Christian. At the minimum.
Thing with these is the second or third unit Arizona teams are probably recruited and pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like those guys are going to want to eat. And now remember, I think Abilene Christian's the team that beat Texas, where it was a 2:15 game. It was the year of COVID or whatever, where the tournament was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So the last round 1 game was a Saturday night, and 21. They beat Texas
14-3 game.
Yeah, and that was I was in a Calcutta, and it was a big game. So maybe the programs can be frisky, get the other team to play. Arizona's off 2 monster wins. Okay.
Yeah,
I get it, but I'm handicapping that third unit. And they got San Diego State on deck as Arizona, so maybe that game has their attention, and I don't know. I just found the number interesting. That's all. It's interesting.
It is an interesting number. The other
if you're like a betting nerd like I am, you kind of like. I just want to know the final score right now. Like, I'm just curious how it all plays
out. There are other ranked teams laying enormous numbers tonight. Duke's in the 30s against Lipscomb. Michigan State in the 20s against Toledo. North Carolina. Around just under against that ETSU. Isn't that my ETSU team from earlier in the season against Florida State? Didn't I play them that one night? Is that my team, East Tennessee?
Does ring a bell.
No, it is not. That's somebody else I must be thinking of in it. But either way, they're there. Texas Tech is playing tonight. BYU against Pacific. Arkansas, Kansas. Lots of teams with some big numbers for us later on.
Oh, this is this time of year where it's funny. I was talking to my women's basketball handicapper, and he showed me a calendar reminder on his phone from last year. Do not go big on any games this week. No kids on campus. Finals. Wonky stuff happens. So it's something to keep in mind. He literally put a reminder in his phone a year ago. Just, look, right. TCU, as PDY says, 60.5.
Oh, that got to be the women's, right? That's got to be in the women's.
Lady Tigers of LSU this afternoon were laying 75.5.
They didn't cover.
Oh,
did
no,
they?
They won by like,
no,
they won by like 50. 40. I think they won by like 52 or something. 75.5. I watched a few minutes of the game. I'm like, there's no way they're covering this. The other team could like inbound the ball and dribble.
Morgan State.
And that's all you need to do to cover 75.5.
60.5 for TCU against Arkansas Pine Bluff tonight. 11-0 TCU, now ranked 9th.
Women or men?
That's women. That's in the women's.
Okay.
TCU women are laying
now, yeah. The 9th ranked. 9th ranked Horned Frogs.
9th ranked Horned Frogs. And UCLA and Cal Poly, the other women's ranked game for you this evening. So there you go. Big night of college hoops ahead of us here. And I will now
nothing on the I got nothing on the ladies' side to pass along. Okay. So that means I'm gonna have to come up with a best bet while we're at it.
We're going And I want to know the final score of the Arizona game right now as well. So just give me the
91-33 is the LSU. So that was a 58-point win.
And they were, and what was it, 70? What'd you say it was? They were
75.5.
Oh, goodness.
It opened 70.5.
That is wild. That's something else. There you go, college hoops. The Marist Red Foxes at Georgia Tech tonight. Let's go. Hockey now. Pucks, big night, 10 games on the ice for us. We love this. Tuesdays, usually
Dougie
Tuesdays
Pucks might come out tonight because I need a best bet still.
We could see some Dougie Puck action here. Why don't we start with the TV doubleheader? That's on TNT. Oilers are at the Penguins. Now, let me give you all of the side card of this game. They just made a trade a couple of days ago, not even a week ago, where the Penguins sent their starting goalie, Tristan Jarry, to Edmonton. Edmonton sent their starting goalie, Stuart Skinner, to Pittsburgh. There was a couple of smaller pieces involved in the deal too, but all in all, it was a goalie-for-goalie swap between the two teams. We have the Penguins, who you brought up yesterday, have been blowing games at home. Oilers come in. McDavid has really won the battle against Sidney Crosby in his career. I think 6 of their last 7, Edmonton has beat Pittsburgh overall. Hope we discuss the goal swap. We got you now, Crooked Chef. Is it an automatic over? With the way the Penguins have been playing, Doug, it might be. I mean, look at these games they've been blowing lately. They've been going 3-goal leads, 4-goal leads. They've been yakking them up at home.
I am definitely going to have my phone in my hand checking some Penguin scores at the Igloo 2.0 about 8:30 Eastern, because that's all I care about is if they have a lead. There's no reason that if they're up 2 or 3-0, you shouldn't be betting the dog. It's like, well, they're not going to keep doing it. Well, maybe they play tighter. Maybe there's no rhyme or reason. I think you just owe it to yourself to do it.
I agree with you. This is now look, I do like the Oilers tonight. 148's so probably a little bit much to get into. The over is probably
Penguins first to score. Do we like Penguins first half?
Against Jarry. Maybe not bad. First period here. Let me get you the first period. Total goal, both teams to score is plus 138. That's not awful. Goals by the Penguins.
Wigged out. The both teams to score, that's BTTS, right?
Yes, BTTS.
You see that acronym on social. Wasn't there like a serial killer? It's like BTTK or something. Like I always get a little wigged out.
It's very possible. It's very possible that's true. But yes, both teams.
There's some sort of very similar acronym. I always do a double take every time I see that because you see it in soccer as well. So
Penguins money line first period plus 108. Penguins first period. See, I don't know how much to put into the goalie swap, and both of these guys are playing tonight against their old teams. They're both in the net. You know, they both know the other goalie so well. Is that going to add more to the over? Like they know what the weaknesses. They've been playing, and these aren't guys who were at these teams for a short amount of time. For years, Doug, these guys have been with these organizations. Years. That's lots of time at practice going against.
So they're familiar. I would say under is better.
I think better.
It's more likely the goalie knows the offensive players than the other way around.
There you go. So maybe it is an under for us, but I think you're right. I think Edmonton wins the game, but I think we have to look, as you mentioned, games at 7:30 East, a little bit after 8 o'clock, 8:15. You see the Penguins with a lead. Jump on the Oilers live, and we get ourselves moving in that direction. Elsewhere tonight, the other game of the TV doubleheader is the Avalanche are in Seattle against the Kraken tonight. I mean, they're heavy favorites here. 315. The total 6. These are actually, I was looking at some over-under stuff earlier, Doug. These two teams are in the top 5 of the most unders in the NHL this year. Most unders played, both of these teams. And at a flat 6, it was 5.5 earlier. So flats 5.5. I don't really play unders at 5.5. But at 6, maybe. So I can get bailed out on that push. That would be the only thing. I can't. I wouldn't even. I don't even know if I could do the puck line at -125.
I'm literally just letting you cook and taking notes here.
Taking note. You're just taking notes on it. It's under or nothing for me if I was going to get involved with the Avalanche and the Kraken. Both teams have been so strong to the under this year, especially at the flat 6. 5.5, I wouldn't play the under. But just because the Avalanche, they've played a lot of unders this year, but they are a high scoring out. They got a lot of firepower, Colorado. I think their unders have come maybe Kraken team total under. Look at that. We see this is why we love the chat box. I'm going to throw the Kraken team total under in. What would they have the Kraken team total under at? Let's find out really fast, Doug. I'm moving. I'm cooking as fast as I can for you here, Doug, with the hockey.
That's good. Take your time. Take your time.
We want the including overtime number? Probably. Maybe not. You know what? If they're going to lose the game, they're going to lose the game in regulation. You're going to lose the game in regulation. So total goals under 2 is -109 in regulation. Maybe Kraken team total under. That's not where I'm going to go. It's under for the game or nothing for me. For Colorado and Seattle tonight. 1 week away from Seattle's first back-to-back in a while, too. That's next Monday and Tuesday or Sunday.
We're still a week away. Gosh.
Still a week away.
Thought it was coming up like sooner.
As I go to my next game here on the card for the NHL, if you love back-to-back trends, Doug, I can give you one. Rangers are home tonight for the Vancouver Canucks. Nice job by Anaheim last night. Both guys were jacked up, Kreider and Trouba, and they ended up getting the win in the Garden against the Rangers. So the Rangers play again tonight at home. Another Western Conference team with Vancouver coming in. The Rangers are -122. This is the 6th set of back-to-backs for the Rangers so far this year. They are 0-5, Doug, on the first 5. Rangers have not won on the second night of a back-to-back yet this year.
I think I'd have to dig deeper to learn who the what other variables were they similarities or something like that.
Right. That's probably not enough to make, but it's just tracking and seeing what have they done on the second night. It's weird because the Rangers have played 5. There's teams that have only played 1 or 2 back-to-back so far this year. The East teams play more because there's less travel for them. The West teams, they try to give them a little bit of a break unless they're out on one of their long road trips. But the East teams generally play a lot more back-to-backs too, which kind of moves to the number. The problem is, though, Doug, Vancouver stinks, which is what makes it tough to play. Vancouver stinks. That would be the one thing that gives you some pause. And yes, you want to go and try to play the 6 in a row on the back-to-back, but some of those other wins on back-to-back were against good teams, the Detroits and the Washingtons and the Islanders. You're talking about Vancouver being the team you got to back, and they stink. They just traded their best player away. I don't know if we can get much out of Vancouver tonight, even at the Garden. How about an over?
I know.
How about an over?
Yeah.
Rangers at home is always tough with them with the over. Though they played one on Saturday with Montreal. That was a 5-4 game on Saturday against them. They gave up plenty of goals last night. They just didn't score any against Anaheim. So there's your back-to-back trend that I have for you on that one. Elsewhere, the Leafs have now gone under in 5 out of 6. Remember the run that they had? Suddenly the Leafs are playing unders. They have the Blackhawks in town tonight. -215 for Toronto, 5.5. 5.5 in a Leaf game, Doug. 5.5 in a Leaf game. No Bedard for the Blackhawks, which, that hurts because he was generating all of their offense. So it's hard to go near the Blackhawks right now when you lose your best player. So you have that. Utah's in Boston against the Bruins. That's kind of an even number there. -150, -109 for Mammoth, -113 for the Bruins at Bet Rivers. Here's another back-to-back for you. The Ducks are in Columbus. Ducks off the win at the Garden. Take the short trip to Columbus. Man, the Blue Jackets shouldn't be -143 against anybody. I'll take
lines clearly.
I'll take the Ducks +116 in Columbus, even on the second night of a back-to-back. They're a much better team. I'm just going to hope that they can.
It's just a principle for you.
It's just I'm hoping that their talent wins out, Doug, in that one. They are much better than Columbus. Columbus shouldn't be. It's Ducks or nothing in that game. And I've almost at your favorite. Well, Caps are in Minnesota against the Wild. What is Minnesota now? Minus 122. And Minnesota's playing well. And now they have Quinn Hughes, who they just got from Vancouver. Massive deal. Makes Minnesota even better. Maybe puts them just below Colorado and Dallas in the Western Conference. Caps have been playing pretty good too, but I like Minnesota tonight at home. And late night at the Shark Tank. Flames and San Jose. The Flames have beaten the Sharks 9 of the last 10 times they've played.
So I'm looking at the over, and it's just 5.5, but they just played a 2-0 game.
Yes. The overs at the
Calgary,
Shark Tank.
but that was in Calgary.
I was in Calgary. And that was a game when they played in Calgary that night. I was on the Sharks that night, and they had like 40 shots on goal. They dominated the entire game. And the kid, I think it was Wolf, he was unbelievable in that game. Unbelievable.
So you think we should take the Flames because the matchup is just really favorable?
I think we should take the over because it's a late night at the Shark Tank, and it's only 5.5. But Sharks have a lot of 4-1 games lately. maybe exact score 4-1. 3 of their last 5 games have ended 4-1. The exact score 4-1 tonight. The Shark
team total for the Flames is the only way to play it.
Team total for the Flames. Let's see. Team total for maybe the Flames do stink this year. They're not very good.
They're $1.37 road chalk tonight.
Let's see. Let's see what we can get with the Flames tonight on the team total.
4-1's only 14-1. I'd say pass on that.
As a Sharks fan, we were on the road and now we're back at home. You do have that also factoring in.
Walensky special.
Coming back off a long road trip. Flames.
Power play goals by the Flames plus 110.
For one power play goal? Plus 110? That's not bad. Total goals by the Flames, including overtime and shootout, over 3 minus 118.
Can't get there. It's a bad number.
You want to do just regulation?
Think of that power play goal.
I don't mind. I love you. You get me involved in power play point stuff. That's just the over 3 in regulations plus 102.
Well, this is good TV. I got to be honest.
Just thinking through Sharks Flames tonight at the Tank, the late night game.
With one guy who doesn't know anything about hockey.
Yeah, Dougie, get him in.
Yeah. I'm not going to force my win streak on something that doesn't jump out.
No, it's got to talk to you for the hockey. The hockey.
I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Not hockey.
Not hockey. That's okay. I might be going to hockey tonight. I haven't made
as you should
final determination on what I would like to do. So there you go. You have got all of that tonight in the NHL for us to go through 10 games. Of course, if you like what you see here on Betting Weekly Live, as you should, make sure you subscribe to the Betting Weekly Studios channel on YouTube, where you can check out us on Betting Weekly Live and all of our other shows, including released earlier today, Betting Weekly Dojo, Nigel Seeley and Neil Channing, as they discuss how weather and crowds affect betting on both the NFL and darts. How about that? NFL and darts with the weather and the crowd. So Nigel and Neil have got you for that. Betting Weekly Dojo.
Darts. Wow.
God, I can't now. I'm going to see what Nigel and Neil had to say about that now. I'm going to have to get involved, especially with the darts there. Follow Betting Weekly Studios on YouTube and check out all of our stuff. All right, NFL. We closed the book on week 15 last night. As we now look down to 3 weeks left. Week 16, which is going to start with a huge matchup in Seattle with the Seahawks and the Rams on Thursday night. As we get down to the last 3 weeks, Doug, what are we thinking now here after we close the book on week 15?
So a couple things that stand out, just that these races are tightening up. And a couple weeks ago, they were huge long shots, whether it's awards markets or division odds. I mean, the Houston Texans, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, were 16-1. Now it's like pick 'em. Just crazy sort of, domino effect, things like that that are unfolding. That's really caused, it's interesting as a football fan, but just kind of missed nice payouts. And I told everyone a week ago, or I think it was a week ago, Kyle Shanahan, he's now like 6-1. It was like 20-1 when I was saying go bet him. Like these things play out this way. I also said Travion Henderson. It was like 24-1. He's now the plus 175 favorite. So I think it's just kind of crazy when you look at the home stretch, a lot of these races, and also the divisions, team injuries mount, teams tighten up, teams choke. So here we are. And so now let's take what we thought and apply it to stuff that could get a little crazy. Let's say Stafford doesn't play well on Thursday. Is Josh Allen a valuable MVP bet? I mean, he kind of outplayed Drake May. Should like Allen be the second favorite? I mean, he is the best player in the league right now. Like that's kind of inarguable. So given what he just did, even if Buffalo doesn't win the division, shouldn't Allen get MVP votes ahead of Drake May? So I wonder, I mean, I brought up Allen a week ago at 14-1, and now you can really make a case for him because if Stafford slips up a little bit, the Bills are at the Browns, very good defense, home to the Eagles, home to the Jets. He could really win it again. I'm not advocating it because I'd like a little more because I think it's still like lifetime achievement award vibes with Stafford. But if they don't win the division, I don't know. It's a little tricky, but that's something to consider. But a week ago, he was only 14. He was 14-1. So a lot. There's a lot of movement, I guess, is the way to put it with all of these races.
And I think that another thing that you have to factor in, and I know you've talked about this in the past too, is how many more times are these guys in quote unquote marquee games that are going to be on TV that everyone's going to see, right? And that matters. And for New England, this Sunday night at Baltimore is really it. They play the Jets and the Dolphins the last 2 weeks. Those games are not going to have a lot of eyeballs on them. So this is really one last shot for Drake May in terms of in front of the national audience. And this is a game where I don't know if neither of us do, but I mean, they're dogs in Baltimore on Sunday night.
And Stafford's playing this Thursday, but then also next Sunday at Atlanta. So if he doesn't sort of crush the Seattle defense,
that's a Monday night game, that Atlanta game. That Atlanta game's a Monday night game.
Oh, I was going to say because Collinsworth would be gushing all over him. So it's going to take
Monday
Aikman
night.
To gush.
It'll take Aikman. And the only game that Allen really has left is the middle game, which is week 17. They are in the 425 window against the Eagles, and it's really the only game at 425. That's Sunday after Christmas.
Right, and the Browns defense could wreak havoc a little bit. He's obviously a weapon, but
But
they have a way of bringing out that.
Factor those things in. That how many more times are these three guys stand alone on TV with everybody to watch? Because that does sometimes make a difference with how narratives move up and down. So races are tightening up quite a bit as we get down the stretch here. Let's go for two now. Two early sides and totals from each of us as we take our first look at week 16 in the NFL. Why don't you start first, Doug, with this Kansas City Chiefs team that now, of course, for the first time in a long time, does not have Patrick Mahomes at their disposal?
So to me, it's more than just Minshew, right? It's like, how is Minshew laying 3.5? He looked terrible. Well, he's going to get all the, QB1 reps all week and look a little more confident. But I honestly think this team is checked out. How do you go from Super Bowl aspirations? I mean, look, we know about the Super Bowl hangover, right? They're going to miss the playoffs after being in the Super Bowl a year ago. It's just like Kelsey couldn't even talk to the media. Like this whole locker room in the same game gets eliminated from the playoffs, and also star quarterback, face of the league and franchise, torn ACL. What do you think they're paying attention at all in like meetings like today about the Titans offense and on like the defensive players, I mean, they don't give two crap about this game. And so they're going to go on the road with Gardner Minshew and like 3.5. It's going to be literally like the preseason roster. You think Kelsey's going to suit up for this game? I don't think they are. You think they're going to risk anything on defense, or they're going to be business decisions making tackles? So I'd be doing Titans money line, Titans alt lines -7.5, plus 350 or something like that. That's where this game, there is no power rating for this Chiefs team. Okay. There's literally no power rating for this version of Kansas City and the situation. I'd be betting Titans alt lines.
And I could tell you from watching a lot of the Titans on Sunday, because I was in on San Francisco and I was sweating that out all the way to the end with the 12.5. San Francisco got up big in that game, and Tennessee did not quit on that game at all. They are playing for McCoy down the stretch. You know, they were down and they just kept playing. They scored a couple touchdowns, got it back to 10. I needed a field goal late from San Francisco just to cover that. Even still, the Titans were pushing. So that is not a 2-12 team, Doug. That is, you know, let's get the hell out of here. You know, they are.
Yeah, they have an adult in the room now. Remember, they were pathetic at practice and everything. And like Cam Ward was like, we're not a real team. Now they have an adult in the room with Mike McCoy.
Yep.
And also, like, what's left in the gas tank for Kansas City? Last week, hard-hitting game with Chargers, 3-point game. You had that Sunday night game with Houston that was 10-10 in the second half. Smash mouth game. Dallas, right? That crazy game on Thanksgiving. And then before that was the overtime win against Indy. Before that was in Denver that was decided by 3. I mean, they've had just game after game that's been an emotional toll. This has got 1, 2, 3 Cancun to me.
1, 2. I agree with you. I don't see, they have got to be completely checked out here. As far as I'm concerned, completely checked out right now. Elsewhere, speaking of the Niners, who did just get by for me on Sunday against this Tennessee team, now they will go Monday Night Football into Indy and Old Man Rivers. -6 for the Niners at Bet Rivers, 46.5 the total.
Look, I watched that Colts game, and I liked the under because they had the Rams on deck at Seattle. We talked about this, and the Colts are going to be checked down, Charlie. They have they're terrible, okay? Rivers threw a couple passes that were pretty good. I think the Niners defense will have a similar effect on Seattle. You could say they hung around, that now they're at home, or they still lost, even though Seattle had to kick 6 field goals, okay? Like any of those conversions, and it was Sam Darnold. Now it's a much more polished offense, and you got the Niners on the turf. I think the Colts stink. I think Phillip Rivers is probably couldn't get out of bed for 2 days. Remember, it's that if you haven't worked out in a while, that's that you're fine until the next morning. I think he's in pain right now. I think he's stiff. He's sore. The novelty of it all is worn off. I think they could get destroyed here.
Like, this is the type of game, like you see that Rivers overpassing completions there. Like, this is the type of game where he might not play in the fourth quarter, or might not play in it could get that.
I mean, the flip side is they face the best defense in the league at home. I mean, like or one. Yeah. Not that San Fran's bad. It's just maybe they're going to be. I just wonder if the Colts, they kind of needed that game. Like at some point, Phillip Rivers is like not going to play, right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're out of the playoffs. Like I kind of
right. That's and I think that there are a bunch of ways that they could be by the time they play on Monday night. Like I believe it's there's a couple of avenues, but I think if the Bills and the Chargers and a couple of these other teams win, and Jacksonville, I think that they are kind of almost on that door. First one that stuck out to me, Doug. Now, believe it or not, you wouldn't think it, but the Giants and the Vikings, I guess maybe you could, they are both in the top 7 most overs this year. That's right. The Giants 9-5 to the over. Vikings 8-6 to the over. 8-6, not too much of a thing, but they played a lot of overs. 44, I think, is light. I think points, and it's not supposed to be 20 degrees or windy or any of that at MetLife on Sunday. It's going to be a little bit better than it was last weekend when Washington was here, and they still scored tons of points in that game. I think you saw enough now. You've seen maybe McCarthy. He's obviously gotten a little bit of work there, and he's been working on him, O'Connell. So I think that we're going to get over 40, way over 44. I think this is a nice, fun 31-28 type of game between the Vikings and Giants on Sunday.
And we're for sure getting Darnold because took a couple hits and
right.
Yeah.
Asking. Well, look, yeah. Well, I think that he's going to be. Look, I think Dart's he's going to play. I'm pretty sure that they're going to have him out there. I know he took a couple hits towards the end of that game. I
like the Vikings defense, though.
Yeah, but they've had some spots this year where they've given up some points. They have not. They've been contributors to those overs. They've had some games this year where they give up. I will say, I thought that the Dallas would score more on him. I know that that the Terminator missed a couple field goals there Sunday night for the first time in his life, Aubrey. But their defense can contribute a little bit. I like this over. And the other game, it's not even so much that I maybe like a side, but I felt like we had to talk about this game early in the week. What are we doing with this Tampa Bay Carolina game? Because this game obviously has a lot on the table. The winner's going to be in the lead in the NFC South. The Bucs are on this absolute free fall. Bowles calling them out after last Thursday night's loss. This Carolina team, you can't figure them out. When they're favorites, they lose. When they're dogs, they win. Oh, do we follow that pattern again here, Doug? Are we taking Carolina because they've been good in the dog spot? Or does Tampa Bay finally get their act together? We know they're the better team, we would think, looking at it from 1 through 53. What are we doing in this game? I like the Panthers.
I will say, I think it's Bucs. So Panthers have lost 12 straight as a favorite. Okay, so that, thank God for their sake, they're not favorite. I think Bucs, after that performance and Bowles' post-game speech, long week, I think they have to go take care of business here.
You would think. Now, let me ask you this. Can you think we can get 3.5 by Sunday?
No, I think the sharp money's pretty disciplined with that. Let me read the screen right now. I'll tell you where it's going to head. No, it's not going to head to 3.
Not going to get there. Not going to get there.
I say it goes more likely 2.5. But I don't think it moves off 3.
Okay. I don't. I think you're flipping a coin, but just going by
yeah, you definitely are flipping a coin.
You're going. Carolina has now given you almost like a distinct pattern the last 10 weeks. Good week, bad week, good week, bad week, good week, bad week, and they just had a bad week. It's just kind of how they've been going. It's amazing. So Bucs and Panthers, they're playing twice over the last 3 weeks. They're in Tampa, the last game of the season, which I'm sure will be one of those moved games to either Saturday or Sunday night with the spot on the line between the two of them. So NFL Week 16. All right, there is college football tonight, Doug. Can you believe it?
It's Tuesday. It must be Maction, no?
I wish it was Maction, but instead, can I interest you in the Salute to Veterans Bowl, which will take place tonight? This game is in Montgomery, Alabama, at the Crampton Bowl. Troy and Jacksonville State, pair of 8 and 5 teams, with Jacksonville State laying 2.5 at a total of 49.5.
So there's been dog money, okay, that's come on this. I would say, and this is just a friendly reminder for this game and others, be careful with the half points and stuff. Like, these games land 1 and 2 because they go for 2 and they let it rip. They're trying to win. This isn't total NFL preseason, but key numbers are like 1 and 2 in these types of games. So just be careful. You may want to wait in-game wagering. Troy might be favored at one point, and then you can grab Jacksonville State. So just something to keep in mind. For me, it's dog or pass. There's been a little steam today. After there was initial steam on Troy, it's come back on Jack State. I can't, in good conscience, bet this game. I have zero opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to rightfully say that I have one lean or another over either team, or even the total, to be quite honest with you. I have no clue where this goes in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. I mean, I have a much stronger feel about the Cure Bowl tomorrow, Doug, than I do with the Salute Veterans Bowl. Love USF tomorrow and the Cure Bowl against Old Dominion.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. We will talk about that tomorrow, though. Old Dominion and USF in the Cure Bowl, Louisiana and Delaware in the Ventures Bowl, 68 Ventures Bowl. So we have a couple of bowl games lining up our way. I know we're going to go for two. I think we're going to have to go for two tomorrow, Doug, with the college football. I think we're going to save that for tomorrow and move that in. But I think this is almost going to be like a daily thing now here on Betting Weekly Live. We're going to do some too early sides and totals. We're getting late now, so we'll do them tomorrow. But you got to keep an eye, Doug, right? Every game pretty much for any kind of information, news, anything that comes out involving any of these
Michigan-Texas game. We went from 5.5 to 6.5 a week ago. Now we're through the key number of 7.5. Michigan interim coach, the number one thing he's been told is to show love to the players. Some of these guys didn't want to play this game, and with everything going on with the program, and I just wonder where their heads are going to be come kickoff.
You do have to wonder that. The great Biff Poggi is going to be the interim coach. Of course, he did such a splendid job at Charlotte. He was chopped after a couple of years, but Biff Poggi,
the interim for two Michigan games. I think he's 2-0.
Yes, he's been a good interim coach for Michigan so far. So, but yes, just keep an eye on a lot of these lines for bowl games because there is on a daily basis a lot of fluctuation going up and down with where everything is, and we'll mention a couple more of them tomorrow, Doug. We'll hone in on a few more as we get a little closer to the college football playoff this week, too. Don't forget, Friday night, Alabama and Oklahoma kick things off in the college football playoff. It is best bet time on Betting Weekly Live, of course, and the Daily Double as Doug looks to continue to stay hot. I am going to go back to the ice this evening for the Daily Double, and that is in Minnesota. Good game between the Caps and the Wild. Saw the Wild really showing a lot of energy. They've been playing well even before they got Quinn Hughes. But I feel like the Wild really taken off, especially having Hughes in the lineup now. Minus 122 at home tonight. Feel really good about Minnesota. So I'm going to go there, Doug, as my hockey play tonight.
All right, so this is just, strong opinion, I guess is a way to put it. I am going to bet it, but it's hardly like banger. Okay, it's like the opposite end of the spectrum of the banger. I'm going to go first half to Paul. It's just a fade of the situational spot for St. John's. They have Kentucky on deck, off a nice win. I think DePaul's going to really be up for this game. If they were like a first 10-minute line, I'd prefer that. But I think we hang around single digits here with DePaul.
So for tonight, Betting Weekly Live Daily Double, Minnesota Wild money line with DePaul in the first half, plus the 11.5 at Carnesecca, plus 242 at Bet Rivers for the Daily Double this evening. And in a sidebar, Doug, I will tell you, for everybody out there, you never like to say the word guarantee, but I'll tell you why this one is going to get there tonight, Doug. You want to know why? Because as you know, I play the Daily Double personally myself. We all do every single night. And I can't play this one because of St. John's. So this is a guarantee to hit tonight because I can't play it. So this is going to absolutely, Doug, go through tonight. Minnesota and DePaul.
Apologies to those and the Empire State.
The Empire State.
I feel bad.
I know, but hey, plus 242. Well, we got a lot of people in the chat box. Everybody who tunes in every day to Betting Weekly Live. Go get it, and I guarantee you there's a whole extra asterisk because I can't go play it and tweet it out after it hits. So there you go. DePaul first half and Minnesota tonight. And we have the NBA Cup. Don't forget that too, with the Spurs and the Knicks, which we talked about at the beginning of the show. All right, Doug, we are back tomorrow for a Wednesday Betting Weekly Live. As I mentioned, we have a couple of NBA games, a few hockey games, a lot of college basketball, and we will do more looking ahead at those bowls. I held that over, Doug. We'll do the go for two with the college bowls on tomorrow's show on a Wednesday, Betting Weekly Live. Of course, Betting Weekly Studios, part of the Bet Rivers Network. Mike Carver, Doug Kezirian. Everyone have a great night. Good luck at the window. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Betting Weekly Live.